Hi, it's me again with CorelDraw tips and tricks. Last night I made a video and I offered up these squiggles that I've gathered through the years from people and made some of these my own. And I said in that video that some of them are really rough. And if we look at that one right there, that one is not really worth using. But if we take it and grab it and make a copy, I'm going to go ahead and open a new page. By hitting that plus sign, I'm going to paste it into the new page. I'm going to go ahead and make it quite a bit bigger. And I'm going to hit P and put it in the center of the page. One of the problems with this one is if I left click, look how thick the outline is. So I'm going to make the outline a hairline. And on purpose, whoever drew this might have done this intentionally, but because it's all black, some of the parts that he intended to be like thinness of the ribbon don't really need to be needed. And see how rough they are. So I'm going to take the virtual segment delete key. But first of all, because I'm working in the center of the page, I'm going to get the 2-point line. And I'm going to hold down the control button and then I'm going to hit P. And I'm going to kind of look to see which one's worse. And they're about equal. So I'm going to delete this side. And by doing that, I only have to fix half of it. So this is pretty rough, and really on this pattern, this is not needed. It made it well, let's back up here. Yeah, can't really do anything about that because this thing is all one piece. Now, a couple of things you could do is take the shape tool, see all the nodes that aren't needed. And if we'll select most of those nodes and just hit delete, 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 and go ahead and delete. That's not too bad. I'm going to delete that one. So I'm going to get out the smoothing tool now. Way too big, make it like a 1/2 inch. And as soon as you click on it, you can see what it did. And I would basically just kind of maybe remake these circles. So we could do that. We could get about in the middle and hold down the control and the shift key. So it'll grow from outwardly. And then keep in mind that this is going to be yours now. So anything that you do, I'm going to hold down the shift key now and make it bigger. Make it a little bit bigger and kind of put it in the middle. And then I can delete this interior line. Now this line is a hairline from here on out, but we could adjust that too. I'm going to draw another ellipse, get about in the center, control in the shift key. We're going to make it a little bit bigger. If I was really going to do it for real, I'd take my time and maybe get it more in the center. So if I brought in an indexing line and put it on that line, I can see that my circle, let me get it right on that line. I can see that my circle is not in the middle, so I can move my circle down. And then I'm going to go ahead and get rid of my indexing lines, and and for this to work, you probably really need to make that line a thicker line. Now, these two lines are touching. I don't know if that's intentionally or not, but we've cleaned it up quite a bit. Let's change the bow on that. So what we're going to do is take the shape tool and grab that node and maybe delete that node and that node. And we don't want to delete that node, but we can bring, if you move your handle inside, it'll bring it thicker. I don't really like that this is just a line. Let's make it not a line. Well, what we can do is go up to object and break the curve apart. That way that line is not, it's still not a hairline, but a couple things we could do. I'm going to delete it and I'm going to put a rectangle. Well, in fact, I'm going to extend the rectangle out to the end of that. Get it somewhat in the center. Go ahead and delete this line and this line. Whoop. I'm going to go ahead and delete these two lines. Then I can delete this, then this. So this is going to be a thicker line. And I think that looks pretty good. Let's change this curvature right here a little bit. You know, really, whoever drew this was trying to make it thinner right there, and that's fine too. I don't like the way that these ribbons are not touching. So I'm going to take, and this is where you could use your imagination and kind of do what you want to do. And then take the virtual segment delete key and delete that. And I think we're good. So now what I'm going to do, probably the smartest thing to do, let's see how big our nudge factor is. Let's set it like on like 3 inches. And let's fill this in with the Smart Fill tool in black. See what it did? I'm going to nudge it down 3 inches, 3 inches, 3 inches. And what that did, that created a better object. So now I'm going to nudge it back. I'm going to left click, right click. I'm going to Control D and make a duplicate and then get the two-sided arrow and flip it. And then if you don't like the way it came out here, feel free to change it. And then get rid of our line. Take our virtual segment delete key and delete that line, and that line. And I would smart fill it before I would do any other correction. So we're going to move that up, and that up. That's a pretty cool squiggle, but you could still change it. Let's left click, right click. And I kind of like it. You know, these points are pretty good. I'm going to replace this in the old squiggle, so that one's been fixed. Control G to group it. So if you ask for it, this one will be the new one on that same page. I hope that helped a little bit. Thank you for watching. I will have my email at the bottom of this page.